Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a fantastic game here between Dark in the bottom left spawning as our blue Zerg player, and in the top right, one of the most underrated Terran players in the scene currently. It is time. Very curious to see what's going to end up happening here, as we have time popping into the main base immediately with a Reaper, getting a couple of shots off on those links. Have to wait and see if it's going to be good enough. Don't think it quite is. No link kills quite yet, at least. Triple CC is a follow-up. Time one of these players people forget about a lot. But when you talk with Zerg players, when you talk with Terran players, and when you talk with the Protosses, you know that Time is a very scary opponent. Definitely in the upper echelon of StarCraft 2 players. It's kind of like the... maybe like the B tier StarCraft players, you know? Not quite the A or the S tier. The S tier probably is like your Seros, your Marus, your Rainers, and your Darks. And then in the A tier you got your your Solar, your Beyond, that level of players. And in the B tier, I think Time definitely does kind of exist in that general area. He's such a solid player. It's really fun to watch as well because he likes to play some aggressive stuff, solid control. Chinese version of Clem, it feels like very often, where they're both very quick players that like the openers to be somewhat standard, but then from that point on out, all bets are off the table and literally anything can happen. For now, it's just going to be a Hellion Banshee opener. Cloak hasn't started quite yet, but surely it's going to be on the way soon, as the third CC here is finishing up just now. Don't actually have the money for an orbital command. Okay, there we go. Does have the money for an orbital command. As the first two cars make their way across the map, Cloak ends up starting as Metabolic Boost is relatively late, and we have a quicker second gas coming in here for Dark. Curious to see where this is going to take us. A lot of the time we don't actually see another gas being added until the third base is fully mineral saturated, but Dark saying no, actually gas is a very important resource and I want to get it early. Baling Nest being thrown down as well. I'm not necessarily smelling a Baling bust here. Might have something to do with the fact that I currently can't smell anything, as Home Story Cup has left me a little bit sick. So maybe this is actually going to be a Baling bust, but it sure doesn't smell like it. Spore being thrown down in the main mineral line, relatively quick actually. This was what, a 435 Spore against a triple CC, not quite necessary, as Cloak most of the time is not going to finish at that timing quite yet. Simply not possible. It's going to be 8 cars, double Banshee, very standard opener here. We have 2 more gases on the way, so straight up going up to those 4 gases. No fourth base as of yet. Is this Spire play maybe? Like, we're going so quickly into these extra gases, it almost makes me believe this is going to be Spire. There's a lot of Queens up ahead in this general area. No Queen split coming out of Dark. We have a 5th gas coming down, double Evo chambers. Wanted to go for 6 gas, I think, here, but actually ended up cancelling that gas. Not quite sure why that is. And this is starting to look a little bit like some Hydralisk Bane shenanigans, maybe. It's kind of what I'm feeling like, at least. No Roach Warren going down yet, so it can't be that. Double Banshees right now moving in. Will Cloak up first. Overseer is about to finish up anyway. It's not going to be the end of the world here. Hatchery could potentially be in a little bit of trouble, as we see it go down to 120 HP right now. Yep, there we go. Big cancel on that hatchery. It's gonna cost Dark 75 minerals. At the same time, these cars tried to get in, but got stopped by the triple Queens and the Lynx in the back as well. 1-1 starting, Centrifugal Hook starting as well right about now. Here we go. One more attempt to cancel this base. Another 75 minerals will get taken out of the game here. So that's 150 minerals of damage that these 2 Banshees managed to achieve. It's not a whole lot. Of course, they also forced out some spores. You have a hatchery coming down in the main base, a classic Dark macro hatch. Double expansions as well here, so plenty of larva to go around soon. And one of the reasons why Dark has to do that is because he's a huge fan of sending all of his Queens forward. So the moment the first 2 Medevacts with Marines arrive, usually he'll pull all 7 of his Queens to the front. For now, that's not going to be the case. These Queens might actually be in a little bit of trouble. No, will survive. Take out a Hellion, take out a Banshee here. Good start for Dark. Takes out another car. We're currently at 6 cars and 1 Banshee remaining. And we have another macro hatch coming in. No Queens anymore injecting whatsoever. Burrows on the way. Okay, Queens start moving back. Bit of a wild play. as a run-by is being set up. This could just be a Ling run-by, but no. Centrifugal Hooks has finished, and Dark is ready to get down and dirty with those Baneling run-bys. Pneumatized Carapace Hive already on the way as well, so quick tech, not the highest worker count for our South Korean Zerg player, but for now it seems to be fine. 4 Queens are going to be enough to deal with this. Hellbats get taken out as well. Here comes the run-by. Banshee and Bunker will take care of that little 4 Baneling counter-attack. There's 4 more Banes that now start running in towards the natural. Let's take a look at the first-person view here out of time. Does he spot it on the minimap? He's busy taking care of these creep tumors. Splits away. Now should see something on the minimap. Just doesn't respond at all, but doesn't take any major damage either, so he's going to be just fine. Big pickup here as Fort Base is on the way already for time 2. Just gonna follow his first person for a little while here, I think. See what he's up to. For now, the answer seems to be not a whole lot. At least not a whole lot that's actually gonna be helping him. There's already a second factory producing 3 mines at a time, which is fantastic against a pure Lingbane army that Dark is working with currently. 2-2 slightly faster for time. Mines burrowing, drilling claws finishing up. Couple of creep tumors gonna get taken out. Lots of creep in the middle. Mine is going to burrow just barely in time. As you see a nice unburrow there of that one mine, making sure to save it. I wonder if there's any detection to deal with these Widow mines. Doesn't quite seem to be the case. Top left side now is being attacked. No extra barracks being thrown down quite yet. It's a little bit surprising. It's often one of the first things you see after the 4CC goes down. Ultralisk Cavern already on the way here, 9 minutes into the game. Stark is kind of rushing into the Ultralisk here. It's rare to see, honestly, but this is a lot faster than we usually... I mean, the freaking Adrenal Gland started before the +2 Carapace upgrade. Did it? It most definitely did. Almost started before the +2. That wasn't quite the case. We have 3 Banelings that are burrowed here in this area. That could potentially be really big. There we go. Unburrow helps with the flank. Couple of mine shots going to connect. Dark says, hey, I feel like I might actually have an opportunity to do something and do something big here. Mine's not in position to defend the third base. Banelings could make well, short work of those SCVs. Big mine shots connecting with a lot of the Banes for now, but these SCVs are in trouble as we have 8 workers going down on the side of Dark. Somehow, some way, maybe these bad boys have something to do with that. Well, 14 SCVs will end up falling on the side of Time, who's called Oliveira in this current game. Has been his Smurf account for a little while already. He's been playing a lot of games under it. I think it's a UFC fighter or something like that. Remember googling it once before and I got a UFC fighter. Does seem like something that Time would be into. Now 2-2 has finished up here for the Terran. 3-3 could start immediately, like there's plenty of cash in the bank, but it hasn't quite started yet. Is this the 8 barracks? Yeah, seems to be the case. Barracks 6 and 7 are here already. Still have a bunker at the third base as well. Time being very aggressive, huge mine shot there. I think that ended up killing like probably like 10-12 Banes or so. More Banelings moving forward right now will clean up all the other mines. 7 mines remain on the map. Not quite sure where they're positioned though, as I'm not actually seeing them at all. 1 mine to the far right over here. 1 mine still on top of this ramp too. That's not the end of the world. A lot of creep in the middle is being denied right now. It's going to allow this rotation towards the bottom side. Dark still stuck on 5 bases. Sure, Time is only on 4, but it's always important for the Zerg player to kind of push to get these extra bases over the Terran. The first Ultra is not on the way yet. It's just going to be pure Lingbane Viper for now. As Kaisen is placing, finishing up. First Marauders enter the fray too. But they're actually running rather low on energy. Not so sure if that's going to end up mattering. Good splits coming out of the Marines. We're just following these medevacs moving away. What was this? Did I miss a complete run by here? Oh yeah, I did. Seems like Time also kind of missed it happening though. Yeah, we get a double unburrow here at the same time. That's pretty big. That's the type of surprise you don't want to come home to. That's for sure. That is for sure. Turret's going to be built. Scans need to be used. There's still another burrow of these links here. Actually blocking the turret that this SCV wanted to build. You can see him waiting patiently until whatever is blocking his way would move away. Now we have these 4 links still going absolutely ham with Adrenal Glands and a +2 upgrade. Actually dealing a lot of damage. First Ultras hit the field. Another big mine shot. Parasitic Bombs will take care of some of these Medivacs. Good splits here out of time. Really showing why he's one of the better Terrans in the current scene. Very solid control. It's really giving Dark a run for his money. I would love to see the Ghost Academy being added at this point. Would love to see some Liberators being pushed into the comp as well. That's indeed what we're seeing. We have 1 Lib on the map already. He's actually harassing the far left. Taking out 7 drones, or at least I assume them to be drones. Maybe a couple of larvae also, yeah. It reminds me of like the turtles that sometimes you see on the beach, you know, and then all these birds are just coming to eat the turtles. It's kind of what this Liberator is, waiting for the larva to pop out. Larva's like, Mom, I'm here! Completely destroyed by the highest single damage output in the entire game. The Liberator. Also the highest damage per second in the game, let's not forget about that. These last few fights haven't gone so well for Time. Will be forced to pick up and piss off at the same time. Has a 5th base in position, but it isn't a planetary yet. I actually believe that Time is going to be pretty happy about that fact. Otherwise, this just would have straight up died. Even the 4th base is going to be in a little bit of trouble, perhaps. Okay, here comes an Ultra. Going to tank that first mine shot. Planetary will try and target it down. Can we get some target fire here on those Banes? We actually can, yes. We definitely can. Hop, hop, hop. That is indeed very nice. Only 4 Medivacs. And I think actually the only way that I see Time winning this game right now is if he maxes out on a massive army. And I'm talking like 140 supply. Don't rebuild any SCVs. He's rebuilding a couple, but if you don't rebuild too many, just get 3-3, massive Marauder Mine Force. There's actually not that much creep. And as long as there are no lurkers, as long as there are no units that truly beat the bio army, like adding in infestors, I actually believe that you can almost always just beat an Ultralisk Ling Bane army with pure Marine Marauder Mine. If your control is good enough, you have plenty of Medivacs, have a couple of Liberators set up as well. Ghosts aren't a necessity, they're nice to have, especially if you're being attacked into. But if you manage to max out on, what is it, like freaking 20 Marauders and 15 mines or so, you actually have a really good shot at taking a big engagement. I would love for these rocks to be taken out so we have a straight path to these bottom bases. Time says no, that's not necessary. I can just take it out with my little attack over here. It's gonna get another cancel. That's going to put Dark on 5 bases still. So it's going to be 5 against 5 bases. No sensor tower on the bottom side of the map, but we do have another command center coming in. 2 gases as well. Feels like Time actually is trying to transition into a more late game-ish vibe. Going to continue having his army split. I would love to see 1 or 2 more. These 2 Medivacs actually should just move towards the bottom side, I think. Would be hugely beneficial here for Time. Ghost Academy is on the way. 3 more hatcheries coming down as well. Every single one of them being built on a base, so no extra macro hatches. I guess if you have 2 macro hatches in the main, that's pretty much enough already. I'm worried here for Dark, honestly. Doesn't have any major casters, doesn't have a major Bane force either. There's a lot of Marauders here in this army. There's a lot of mines as well in this army. They all just shot, so perhaps now there's an opportunity. Time scans, sees this attack coming in, should move this army back. I think, if anything. Do we have any units at home? Can we up the depot? Oh my god, I was just in time. Closing the door. That's insane. The other day I watched a video of a dog being chased by a bear, and the dog running back home, and the door closing just in front of the bear's face. Crazy video. Felt very similar here, except this time the bear broke down the door and ate the human. That's what happened. There was no dog in this game. Ultras are pushing in, actually getting some decent trades. Topside army has pretty much disappeared as well, as 9 workers are going down once again. A burrow move here coming out of these links. Not all that many mines available anymore. All of this Terran is being chewed up right now by the Ultralisk, by the Blinding Clouds. Parasitic Bomb could definitely help, and instead we're seeing double Blinding Clouds. Goes on the high ground, perhaps with a couple of snipes. Do we have an aggressive Terran Force on the map? No, doesn't quite seem to be the case. I think that Dark is actually just straight up winning it. It's so funny when you see these fights, like Dark is staking. He's gonna be down like 20-30 army supply with an army that is not necessarily better, but his engagements are just so solid that it doesn't seem to matter at all. He just wins the freaking game, and that's the most important thing here. Still at 90 workers. Yes, the bank is small. Yes, there's still some mining here for Time, but Time is definitely struggling to get something going. He's only on, what, 4 orbital commands now, just 3 orbital commands right now, getting a 4th out. Bottom side base does seem somewhat secure with these 2 mines and the Liberator, but if you send in enough Banelings, you send in a couple of Ultras, this base is still going to end up falling. That's just the reality of it. Bottom side, 6 o'clock is mining for Dark. This base is mining for Dark. 3,300 minerals income per minute. Means that Dark can be trading pretty poor and still be fine with the situation, as long as he's denying a little bit of eco with it as well. So he sends out another Ling run by to... Well, actually, this one's more of a defensive squad, trying to make sure his topside base stays alive. Gonna be capable of doing that with just 11 HP. CC moves over to the 6th base location. Here comes the scan. Sees the Ultralisk and the Banelings. This is just not enough time here, and it's way too many Ultralisk are starting to move in at this moment. As actually, a lot of them will get taken out there. A couple of good snipes, good planetary as well there. Work count is just so bad right now for Time. Like, Time has pretty decent army supply, despite Dark being maxed as well. It's like 108 against 86. But at some point, Time is going to need to take a good fight, and I just don't see it happen. Not anymore. Not if, like, half of your supply is in medevacs as well. Yeah, Big Fungal is going to connect here. Link moving in. Mines get some decent shots off, but GG gets called as Dark wins this game here on Tropical Sacrifice. And Time, in the end, really no chance. Too slow into Ghost, perhaps, for a proper late game. And not strong enough with the big army. Dark just so good in these engagements. Manages to win it. Could look pretty strong as well here at the end. Interesting stuff. Alright, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy this game. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time. Video. Bye bye.